Deze is hartstikke awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Doss. Welcome back, guys. I know it's crazy. We never take a week off, but we did last week, and it's kind of wild. So happy New Year, and man, yeah, it was, we had some crazy weather this past week over here, and
Yeah, you did. I was actually fine. I'm in the cold area, and
I
I
know
was actually good.
So here, all right. So here's the thing. Last week we got a crazy ice storm. Okay, and so
Word.
like so much that like the ice is so heavy, it's all the trees are like breaking down. So did you see the picture I sent you and the video of me like having to go
It gave
through
me anxiety. It gave me anxiety. Well, as you were driving through, because you're videotaping as you're driving.
Well, I wasn't. Shelly was. Yeah.
Oh, Shelly was videotaping. Okay, but either way, as the video's going, in my head, well, no, out loud, I actually go, for what? For what?
Yeah,
like whatever is down at the end of this road that you need to go to, for what? Because you lost control. Didn't you lose control and start sliding?
No. I was good.
It seemed
it
like
might have looked like it. It might have looked
but
like
I'm like, but you go, because everything was just ice. Everything the ice could see is just covered in layers and layers of ice. So at that point, you just go, for what? For what?
And because where we're at,
I had customers that day. I would be like, guys, we no longer have an appointment today. For what? But why? For what? For what?
So for that, I had to leave to actually go and get more gas for the generator, right? And so
because your power
we lost power for a little bit. And so I didn't know how long, and I haven't had to use it in like 3 years. So it was like, I didn't know what, I was like trying to remember everything. And it was just one of those things that was crazy. And they're like, okay, I think I can get under all of these trees, but I don't know. And then it's like, okay, let me get back home and then not do this again. But it was just wild. And then we had a few days where all that melted, but where I live still, the driveway was still pretty icy. And then it snowed for 2 days, right? So now it's all ice again. So pretty wild. I love that face you're making.
Me? Oh, see, all right. Insiders don't know. I'm multitasking. I'm watching the Vikings playoff game right now, which is I don't know. Did they ever do Monday Night Football playoff games? I can't remember it happening. I know that they would do Saturdays. I don't ever remember a Monday. Who's the NFL? Just wait. They're going to be on Wednesday nights of it eventually. You know,
it's what 10. What's the score? 10-3.
10-3 Rams, but Vikings got the ball. They're moving. They're moving right now. Shut up. Hang on. Hey, all right. That's good. That's good. I'll try my best not to do too much of that.
Sorry, I got some watching too. I mean, what do you think I'm watching now on the TV?
If you're not watching that game, I'm going to be a little upset.
I'm watching Monday Night Raw, man.
Of course. I mean, I kind of assumed, but all right.
Yeah. And then I'm checking my basketball score, because I'm killing it right now with my fantasy basketball team. You know what's crazy there, Alex? It's like how much. I mean, I love everybody playing with us, but it's kind of not even fair. Bro, like,
you need to stop with this.
All right. Look, you are 10-1. I'm 11-0. The closest team that's is like 6-6 or something crazy like that. Like they're no one else is over 500 in our league except you and I. Did you realize that?
Because we're slaughtering everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not just bragging about me. Like you still have like a lot more points than I do. I have a better record, but yeah, it's wild. We're
I didn't
slaughtering.
say like a lot better record. You beat me once. All right, pump the.
No,
brakes.
I didn't say a lot better.
Once.
I'm saying you and I have a lot better. I said you have a lot. You still have a lot more points than I do. But yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be 100% honest right now. If you beat me in fantasy basketball,
like
I'm gonna be very upset. I'm gonna
I
be
know.
very upset. I don't even need to not win. I don't even need to win. I can not win, but if you win, like I'm gonna be very upset, right? Because
I just won.
I had to talk
fantasy football.
Just like, let's go back in time. I had to talk you in to doing fantasy football, right? And you were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I suppose, maybe, okay, all right, maybe," and then you just never freaking lose.
Yeah, I won 4 years in a row.
I'm like, all right, I got him in this thing, and then it's like if you just figured it out, if you win this, I'm going to be legitimately very upset. But another thing.
Yeah. Anyway, that's been our fun stuff that we've been doing. All right. So, man, all right. Let's see. There's a lot of different things that have happened. You know, the ice, everything that's happened here.
Yeah. What else is happening in your hood right now?
I'm trying to remember. There was something I was going to share about. I totally forgot.
Well, how about this? We can share. We don't need to drop names, but we can just at least say, "Hey, there's some traction. There's some traction on the possible Chuck Norris front. It could be possible. We're not going to say exactly, but hey, conversations are being had, right? I'm not saying anything untruthful, right? Conversations are being had, and it wasn't shut down. It was like, hey,
it wasn't shut down.
It wasn't shut down.
Looking good.
No, Troy, this is an Antoine Winfield jersey.
Antoine
Winfield is one of my. He's not just one of my favorite Vikings. He's one of my favorite football players of all time.
Yeah. Antoine Winfield.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Jason Baird, coach of Revolution Europe, joining in, watching. We got Cannell on here. What's up, guys? All right, guys. So we got Warrior Cup this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Big weekend, crazy stuff going on. I'm just going to go and enjoy it because I'll be wearing a lot of hats. I got a lot of things going on. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dude, one of the cool things happening, all right, and we're going to go ahead and let everybody know. So we are going to do a live, myself and probably most likely Brett Shumway. We'll do a live inside scoop in front of the Naska banquet before the banquet starts. So we're going to be talking and getting everyone ready for Warrior Cup predictions, preview, and bring in some of the people going into the banquet, some of the big winners, and just have a great time to kick off the weekend. So we will be doing that around when most of you guys are registering and getting your tickets for it. So about 6:15, we're going to try to go live and be done by like 7 when the doors open, maybe a little bit after. So it's going to be a fun thing. So make sure you guys come watch us. Maybe Brett doesn't know. I guess Travis didn't tell Brett. So maybe I'll do it myself, but we'll figure it out.
There you go, Brett.
You know what's up?
It would be unlikely that I would be able to make it, but hey.
Yeah, most likely.
Crazier things have happened.
Yes, but we're going to make it a fun time. Going to be a great way to kick off the event. So that's what's happening there. Man, I'm telling you what. I know for me, we have a huge group from Revolution going. We'll be doing some new things, so a lot of stuff to look forward to for that. Also, there's about 75 competitors from AAU Taekwondo that will be there, so I will be a coach for that too. I got a lot of my private lesson students going. I got some of my students from Grand Slam going this year, so it's going to be wild, man. I'm wearing a lot of hats, and then of course I'm competing, and my goal is to be on that Warrior Cup stage 3 times. So, it's going to be a great show. Actually, 4 times because we're doing an extra thing too. So I'm pumped, man. I'm excited about the weekend, and just letting it go, man. That's the biggest thing. Just enjoying the. I tell you what, man. After last year, man, I'm just excited for that again. So
Good. Let's get it.
So it's gonna be a great event. Gonna be a great time, and there's so many great people to see. Like it's something about it, especially now that first term of the year, man. And it's just the vibe, the energy. Not only is it the first term of the year, but it's also Warrior Cup, right? So everything is different here.
Right. If it was just XYZ tournament, it would be a big tournament because it's the first of the year, but it's the first tournament of the year and it's the Warrior Cup. So it is a big deal. In some ways, you could look at the Warrior Cup and be like, hey, you could be the last tournament of the year. This would be a big deal.
Right.
And I actually don't think that would be a horrible idea, because I'll tell you right now, like the Christmas time season in Chicago, there's no better place, right?
That's true.
It's the best, right?
It's true.
But to start off the year, it's great. And Chicago still is a tourist place. There's a lot of touristy things that you can do, right? And yeah, everything's an Uber away, so it's not like it's that crazy. What are you really gonna do? You're gonna really walk that far? It's January. You're not walking anywhere, right?
Right.
But
that's true. No, that's not true. I walked a lot of different places last year and the year before. Well, not last year, before I did. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, well, that was when it was in Schaumburg, right?
No. I didn't walk anywhere in Schaumburg. There was no place to walk.
Nowhere to go.
No. 2 years ago.
We can go to the Shake Shack.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That actually wasn't that like a real possibility? That was like something that was being said too. It was like, what's open? I think I saw Shake Shack.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was something up there.
Yeah.
That was us hanging out trying to figure out.
I think Edgar was the one bringing that up.
Yes, we found.
Yeah, you want to go to Shake Shack? I'm like, Edgar, you don't know what you're talking about. It's a fast food place.
Yeah, it's our hangout.
Yeah, he was ambitious and he wanted to go do something. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now we're in the city. Now we get to do real things.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Is cool.
All right, share in the comments, guys, your favorite places to go while in Chicago.
Yeah, because you can't do them all. There's no way you can do them all. So if you're gonna do 1, 2, 3 things, who's all gonna be there? Drop your names in there. Give a little hand raise, and then, or if you have been in the past, one way or the other, what were some of your favorite experiences in the city?
Right. I mean, I'm not leaving. My flight's not till 6:45 p.m. on Sunday, so I'm gonna try to see some things or chill out.
You want to go get you some food? What do you want to do?
I'm gonna go get me some food, man. I don't know what else. Maybe we'll see. I don't know if it snows. I don't know about that. Actually, it's not supposed to, is it? I don't think so.
Says it's not. It never says that, but then I got to tell you, it always. I don't know what it is. Like every other year, it's like a blizzard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that weekend. Like that weekend last year was probably the most it snowed all year.
Right.
So
yeah, it was. It was wild. Yeah. It was cool though.
Navy Pier. Navy Pier is dope. And Navy Pier in the wintertime is still cool, even though it's like a summertime hangout spot because of all those things, all those shops and stuff that are open out on the on the pier. But they actually have a really cool indoor spot, and they have like ice skating on Navy Pier too. So it's actually pretty cool.
Have you been to this place, Elephant and Castle?
Elephant and Castle. No, sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
there's so many things though. There's so many spots.
Right? Tabitha, awesome. Excited this to be your first time.
Cool.
Awesome.
Jason,
all right.
If you've never been to Chicago, you should go check it out. It's like one of those things. It's like you go, even if there was no tournament to go, like it's a cool experience, right?
Correct.
So it would be cool. And plus you can make the excuse like I'm gonna go because there's this tournament and then you just extend your trip or you go early. It's 6 to 1, half dozen the other, but it is a really cool experience.
All right, guys. So who won big in 2024? We're going to talk a little bit about the Naska banquet, as it's something that a lot of people don't really talk about, right? But that's the kickoff of the year, okay? Is honoring everyone and getting your awards from the year before, right? So there's a lot of, big winners. We can't, of course, talk about every single world champion, all right, or champion for Naska. But in the comments below, if you or your family won a world title this year, someone in that, put that out. Or if someone who won big, I know, there's a lot of first-time winners this year that I know that I'm proud of. There's, some big winners, again, Amanda Duarte won a bunch this year. We also have, a lot of the guys from Revolution, won some of their first world titles this year. So I know Jada won some of her first ones. We got Melina, we got Oscar. A lot of these guys winning their first titles this year. Noah winning his. So for me this year, it was a four title year, 3 world titles, and then also 4 world titles. One of them was the overall grand championship for the senior forums. Then you also have Tim that won. I think he won maybe 4 and then 5 with the overall for weapons for seniors. So yeah, I mean it was been a big year for a lot of people, right? We got for the overall grands for women this year, Haley Glass narrowly defeated Caitlin Vong for that one for the women's forums, for the CMX forums. Gabrielle won for the women's forums. And then we got the grand for the women's weapons CMX. That's Samantha Mittling won that one. So that's a huge one for her, right? Only like 200 points over Haley. And then traditional weapons is Haley Glass over Katie McMillan. So lots of big champions on that part. We look at the 18 overall for the traditional weapons. Jake Presley won that one. We got the Diego won the traditional forms for men. And then we got the CMX weapons. And that was Philip Brumet who won that one. And then we got the forms, and that was Esteban. All right. So lots of big close battles on that, so definitely cool to see. Yes, Ashley, she won 2 world champion titles and 2 overall grands. Awesome job. Congrats to you. It's your first time with the overall. Yeah. I mean, for me, this is my first time really doing a full out year, going full out and trying to win the overall. So it's kind of funny to have a junior overall grand and then a senior one, right? So kind of funny. 25 years apart. But yeah, so lots of great things there. As far as, teams, listen, it's hard to scroll through all these, guys, and see who won these. I know some big winners were Alice Gross, Avery Presley, Pia, Sophia Rodriguez. Lots of great grand championships and champions this year. So congrats to everyone. As far as the banquet, man, like some of the cool things, of course, it's hanging out, with your team, with everybody, getting those awards, but also just taking pictures and then, you know what, it's just a great way to get together, hang out before the next day and where it's back to work. Right. And it's like that whole thing of this was awesome. And then now it's completely flipped onto the next thing. Right. And that's the way it is. And that's the way we kind of think about from tournament to tournament, and so it's going to be really cool this year with us, the main gang, being there to cover it. We will have several live shows, guys. So make sure you come to our booth. Make sure you guys meet all of us. Check us out. We're going to have, I don't know for sure. I think we are launching our app this weekend, but I hope so. Hopefully that's done. But if not, then come hang out with us at the booth there. We were going to, like I said, we're doing the live podcast on Thursday, and Fist Kicks and Flicks are going to do 2. And then I think Brett is going to do 1 as well with the traditional way. So lots of cool stuff and lots of stories that we're going to cover in a different way that only, the main gang does. All right, Alex, what you got to say?
Well, I'm just thinking about, best winners of this year. And I mean, you hit, all the notable points for performance competitors. Just let's think about the fighters.
Yeah.
And I really think about it like
Go down on that, yeah.
I think it's pretty safe to say, Katana Everett cemented herself. She's the best. That's it. She's the best. Because she was better than Katarina. She was better. But then Katarina showed up and then won that Warrior Cup. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Do we have an answer for what she's doing? And for a while, nobody did,
Right.
And it's still, even if you have a plan, it doesn't make it a good one, or it doesn't mean you're going to be successful with it. I think Katana is the only one who can say, I've got a plan and I know it will work, And so I think as far as like winners for 2024, like, yeah, she was the best.
Right.
I think for the men, Bailey was able to take a position of, I'm so much further along than everybody, that I don't need to compete every time, and you're still going to tell me I'm the best, right?
Yeah.
And there's been few times where we've been able to say that about somebody, all right? Obviously, the one name that comes to mind would be Raymond, right? Right? Sure, you can look at this and go, and I don't know, it was either 2007 or 2008 where Alex Lane won more grand championships than anybody else, and are we about to say you're the best point fighter in the world? I mean, God, that seems Raymond Daniels is still kind of competing. I don't think we could say that. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, it was 2008. It was 2008 where he had the most wins. So you're like, yes, no, we're not going to say that, right? And so I think that's where we are right now. However, I don't know, man.
Well, here's one of the things too
that
Bailey did this last year is most of the tournaments he went to, he just did open weight and teams. Yeah. He didn't do his division. I think Toronto was one of the only ones he did that in, right? And so that was, one of those things. Before we kind of go in, like, there isn't. How do we get adult fighters to be members of Naska? That's something that Naska, I think, needs to work on, because you look at it and there isn't actually even an eligible person for the lightweight overall grand, because none of those guys are members, right? So that's something where I think Naska needs to figure out what the incentive, because it used to be an incentive back in the day, which we've talked for years about this. If you were number 1 ranked, you got your division comped. If you were number 1, if you won a world title, you didn't have to pay the Naska membership the next year, right?
I mean, that alone, like, why would you
drop that? Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of things like that I feel like should be involved in, right? Should be added to it. Sorry, guys. Our Inside Scoop Fantasy Football
I know
comments are going with Troy.
I'm not in love with what's happened. This is
yeah, it's bad, right?
All right. The first half is about to wrap up, and the Vikings are not looking fantastic in this moment. Down 24-3.
Before we move on to focused on Warrior Cup only, I do want to give some shout outs to like the junior fighters, because we don't ever really get to talk about them that much. And and they are the ones that do support a lot, right? So we got the 16-17 overall grand. Sophia won that over Serafina Fish. Sorry. Sebastian Villanueva won that one for the 16-17 boys. We got Sandrine Audi from Canada on Revolution won the 14-15 girls for that grand. 14-15 boys. Luis E. Rivera Falcon. And then we got the 12-13 Aria Martin girls. And then we got Tony Hamsamni Jr. for the 12-13 boys.
No pressure there.
And we got Piper Miller for the 10-11 girls. And then 10-11 boys, Donovan Horvat, another great fighter. And so, yeah, so those are the champions for that. All right. So again, guys,
I've seen that Piper Miller compete before. Right? She could be really good.
You've seen her fight. She's also, like one of the high level competitors that won a lot this year in forms and weapons. So made some big moves. So, Andrew, winning a title, not having to pay registration or the ratings fee was a huge incentive, even more if they had it now because registration prices are very high. Yeah, and I think that would just create more people with memberships and feel like they are appreciated. I think that's the big
also let's go to, what's it's not just like the incentive like financially, all right? It's like, what is this for? Right? If culturally you had it where it was like everybody, every division, forms, weapons, fighting, everyone valued where their ranking was in their division because of their seed, like that meant something. All right. And then now it's 180 degrees. Nobody cares. Nobody cares because you've made it to where the seeding doesn't actually give you a huge incentive. There is no such thing as seed.
We're talking about fighting mostly.
There is no seeding in fighting. There is none. All right. I'm going to tell you now. And I will tell you why. Even if there are competitors that would be seeded, you're kind of shamed if you take that seed. Right?
In the adults, right?
Yep. Yeah. You're kind of shamed if you take that seed. Right? Because in the kids, like, you don't know no better. Like, your parents, like, they sign you up and you want to be able to get a title, and that makes sense. And you should. I would do that for my kids 100%. But then you enter into an adults, and now it's you. You're going out there, and now you'd be competing against like me. And then like you come out there and like, you're gonna take that, you're gonna take your seed. Like, you came in here, you want a seed? All right, go ahead. You're still gonna have to fight me. So, but whatever. All right. Yeah. And none of that's verbalized. None of it's verbalized.
Right.
But it is 100%, and everyone would agree, it is 100% understood and implied, right? That
the only time I see
it used to be that way though.
Right, but teams is the one where I feel like everyone is trying to get their seed because they don't want to go against.
That is a good point.
First, I feel like that's the big thing. It's the only time I really see it, especially in adults. Is team fighting for male and female. That's been a big issue, especially now with the system the way it is, right? Where sometimes they'll register under one person's name and then someone else. It's very weird, very confusing. So that's been a thing that I think can be tightened up, right?
And I'm going to be honest, never at any point in my life have I ever known what the real seed for team fighting has ever been. Right. And when never in my life. And then even when someone's like, yeah, where's seed? And it just, look at it, and I swear officials say the same thing. They just look at it and go, no, you can't. You're not a seed. You're not a seed. Or if you say like, no, we're the number 2 seed, and you go, and you might look at that and go, yeah, that's probably right. Right. And it's just what it is. Right. So, but if like someone comes up, and not throwing shade to them, right? But if you were to say like, oh, Team Gypsy, like we're the number 3 seed, you would go, no, you're not. Right. However, if nobody else registers,
right,
and you placed, right? But then you've got G3, JPM, all right, top 10 straight up, but none of them register.
Yeah.
And yeah, if they beat you, but then they can go, yeah, we are that seed. Now you look even sillier.
Right.
That's why. It's the culture. You de-incentivized what, like, even being able, like, why would I want to? What am I giving my money up for?
Yeah,
I get my name on a piece of paper that I'm responsible for telling you how it's supposed to go. So me signing up just gets me a part-time job that I'm going to get criticized for and I get no incentive for. Just to hopefully, Alex, you print my name in a piece of paper.
Let's just go back to this, though. This is where I think in Naska, NBL, most open sport karate are some of the only ones that allow you to enter a tournament and not be registered as a member. But let's be honest, like, that should be a thing, right?
That was the allure of this whole thing that we have.
Right.
That was the allure of this whole thing. I was trying to explain this to somebody, and that's when you try to explain it to somebody who doesn't know our world and go like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm a martial artist. And what do they always say, Jeff? What kind? What do you do? Is it like jiu-jitsu? Is it MMA?
Right.
Is it taekwondo? And then your response is like, well, yeah, it's kind of like taekwondo. My cousin did taekwondo. He did yada da da. Yeah. Actually, it's not that. And then now you have to explain that it's actually nothing.
Yeah.
but
yeah.
It's actually nothing.
Yeah.
But then the way, maybe I'm the only one who says it this way, so I'll just say what I say. Like, it's actually open. It's wide open. Any martial arts style can compete in this. However, there are rules. So it's wide open. You can go ahead and compete. Anybody can enter. Anybody can win. And I think we got to either just do that. Just do that. Because if you're not going to have a year-end final, if you're not going to have a year-end championship, then what are we doing?
Right. I mean, that's why it should be at least everybody is ranked and rated the way it should be. Right. So again, you can't go to a WACO tournament without being a WACO member. You can't go compete at an AAU tournament without being an AAU member. Okay. And listen, their nationals has 4,000 people at it. So it's not hurting them. Their tournaments are growing each and every time. So I think, and honestly, insurance wise, you should probably have that too. There's a whole thing to that. But sorry, I didn't mean to bring that.
Whoa. Should probably have what?
Probably have it that you're a member of the organization that you're competing at. If I'm going to,
you would know more. Is that something that insurance companies are gonna?
It could. Anytime that you have something,
like you're inviting outside
that's one
people.
Reason. I know that's one reason why that, like, like AAU does it and WACO. There's a lot of different things. Of course, it helps them boost it, but it makes sense. If you want to compete in, whatever this league is, you got to be a member of it, right? Yep. So I think that's somewhere we're going to. But again, the problem is that's more money being spent, and I think right now we're getting close to people being priced out. And I hope we don't do that. So, but all right, let's go to the other thing. Let's talk about Warrior Cup for this weekend. I want to go to teams to look for. So this could be overall teams. This could be team fighting. This could be demo, whatever. Who are some teams to look for this weekend?
I'm gonna say this: the way Impact's KTOC team fighting, the way they showed up at Diamonds, and then after that, Nico having his win in Toronto.
Yeah,
I could see them making some real traction, and that, they would kind of be a sleeper. They're all talented, and then you get Avery Plowden on your team. You've got a shot to win anything, right? So, and that, I've said it before, but like it's crazy. His muscles just keep getting bigger. Like his shoulders just keep getting wider.
True.
It is crazy, right? I remember at one point this guy was a light middleweight.
Right.
There's nothing light or middle about that physique at all.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, it's funny. I've been playing, I've been playing the Warrior Cup the past couple years on this TV for my students to watch and
Yeah,
everything.
that's a good move. Yeah,
Diamonds
sure.
and battle. And I try to tell, I was like, dude, watching Bailey and them, like, Bailey is like 50 pounds lighter than this guy, like
Yeah. I think they had an exchange too where Bailey takes off and then, Avery's not slow. Avery's fast, but he's just a freaking rock, right? And boom, when he steps straight in. Listen.
What was that? Wasn't that at Diamonds one year? Yeah, where they did the VFT, the overall, the winner take all, and that happened.
And Bailey got a little shook.
And came back up.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. When I would we didn't fight all the time, but we would train every now and then, Avery and I. And I'm gonna tell you this. He doesn't get pushed backwards, right?
Right.
He'll move backwards. He doesn't get pushed. Like, it's not because he's like, oh damn, that was a lot. All right. Like, what's a lot for him? Right. Like, it's just crazy. And it's like, you're not supposed to be that big, that strong, and that athletic.
Yeah.
Maybe think about guys, over the years that have been like that. They're just phenoms. You think of guys like, I think Carlos Terney, and yes, Cam Dawson is that big, that fast, that strong, that athletic too. Yes. Yeah. So we're not forgetting. Yeah. All right. But you think about guys like that. Carlos didn't make sense. Right.
Right.
They're like spin hook kicks both sides. That big, that strong axe kicks from forever. Like, it's not fair.
So someone just posted one of my favorite fighters ever, a great guy, Brian Plimple, just posted like a highlight reel from his last tournament ever. And it was the NBL Super Grands 2004. And he had his surgery. He hadn't done anything. He had his knee done 8 months out, went wild carded, won 14 fights, won it, and was axe kicking everybody, kicking everyone. And that was it. He was done after that. And it was awesome, dude. And I just watching that again just brought back memories, man. And just how amazing of a fighter he was. So, all right. Some other teams over. So we talk about K-Tog Impacts. Obviously, we want to see,
what
we want to see the team fighting with Enrique on JPM. We want to see who's really going to, push JPM women to get that win. Are they, what is their first loss going to happen? Right. And then the other thing is JPM with Philip now, so we got a lot going on. We got a lot of just big moves that happen with JPM. So that's always something to look for.
But that's funny. It's like, and I'm going to be 100% honest, and it's no shade to Philip. I forgot about that. Right. I 100% forgot about that because to look at the other guys on the team, and this is where, like, I made that joke before about Alex Mencias. We're like, dude's pretty damn good. We're like, damn. Like, if he were to win, you'd be like, wait a minute. You're good. You're not supposed to be the one on our team winning. It's not supposed to be you. It's supposed to be the other 7 guys that we got who could potentially win.
Team's so stacked now, so yeah.
They're so stacked. But that's originally why I asked that question like 4 or 5 years ago, where I'm like, hey, is this guy a foreign competitor? Is this guy a fighter? Because he was winning these championships
in
weapons. And so I'm like, is that this guy's avenue? Right.
Yeah. He can do it all, man. He can do it all.
Yes, he can do it all. But it's like, don't you kind of, I don't know. I wonder if these guys feel like, you forgive me, man. Aren't I enough? Aren't I enough? Why you got to get 7 other guys?
Right.
I mean, you got no confidence in me, or what is this? I don't know if they asked that. I probably would after a while,
Yeah, but think about it there, Alex.
Hi.
Alex, sorry. They've always had a big stack roster. Like when we look back at 97 to all the way to like 2003, they had a lot of people on that team, right? So, I mean, you look at the different people they
It's
had on
just
there.
that
It
they're
was
all in the same
always,
division.
they're not really. Oh, you're talking about forms or you're talking about fighting?
Forms.
Oh, well, we were just talking about fighting. So, like, but yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I did flip flop. That was
yeah,
my fault.
that's what. But I mean, even then, there was a stack. I mean, and honestly, like, not to throw shade at him, but I always go back to, like, of all these people that are on JPM, and then Reggie wins the diamond over some
Yes.
guys. Like, and it's like, this guy is amazing fighter, but that year and the year before was Jotty and Preston's time, right?
Yeah,
also
and then
have
he
people
beat
like Brian
Preston.
Booth.
He beat
Yeah,
Preston to do it because Preston
right.
was supposed to be like the young phenom who I still feel Preston off the line, like, go kick.
Right.
And nobody's ever been faster than him, right?
Right.
And that's a drill everybody does in their schools. And I don't care, out of the thousands of schools where people do that, nobody's been faster than Preston Clements doing that, right?
Well,
He
I
was
mean,
supposed to win. It was
right.
supposed to be him. He's the
Right.
young kid. He's going to be here for forever, which he kind of was. But
Yeah.
Reggie Perry's like,
yeah.
hold my beer.
Yeah, this is my time.
Yeah.
All right, some other teams to look for. Man, I mean, there's a
I'm gonna
lot
tell
of
you
teams
this.
going. Go ahead.
You know who doesn't look athletic and stacked right now is this Vikings offensive line. Come on, guys.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Terrible. So I'm excited about some of just a new fresh year for Revolution. Excited to help these guys from AAU Taekwondo experience something they haven't experienced before. And a lot of them stepping up and competing this year for the first time in the Naska division. So that's going to be cool to see. Man, I mean, let's name it, guys. Who are some other people you're looking? Go Lions. Who are some other people you're looking forward to see? Some teams or something new, like a new addition to a team that you're excited to see. So as we have that, I don't know what Diamond G3 is going to do with this event, if they will be there or not.
Yeah.
I would love to see that, see what they do. Another one that is just always fun for me to watch is the Top 10 USA, see what they have going on. So this may not be one of their team events. It may be later on in the year.
But they're going to have some people there.
Yeah, I mean,
Mason's a
Mason
local guy,
there.
so Mason should be there.
Yeah, I would think that Ty should be there, so he's ready to put his foot through the TV. Leander is, it's pretty big. So. All right. Okay, who's going to make the stage? So here's the deal. Why we asked that? Because I tell you what, making the stage is one of the hardest things to do at the Warrior Cup, right?
Because there's so many filters to get there.
There's so many filters to get there. Like, again, like I've won almost every time that I've been at the AKA Warrior Cup, but I've been on stage one time, so, and that was 5, 6, 7 years. So it's a big filter, so normally you win, you go to the finals, you do that, right? Yeah, man, sync is going to be tough. Demo is going to be tough. Always straight up is fun to watch there, Leandro. You're right. But there's a big filter, right? So they have a senior spot now, right? And I tell you, you win your division, you go and do your grand, then you have to go and compete against another grand winner to get that spot for that. And then you go and do the same thing for the forums, right? Now with the new rules where, I'd have to make a decision on which grand to compete in before I even get to do my 18 plus grand. So, or am I even win my 18 plus division? So there's a lot of different things. Yeah, as a senior, it's really hard, right? But also as a junior, it's hard to make the stage because you win your division, you go and you do your grand, your individual grand, then they go ahead and do the overall grand right then. And then you get on stage. So, and you know what though? What I do like is it's 17 and under. It's old school the way it was. Some people may not like that, but you know what? It creates you get to see the best of all age groups and everything. So I still like that.
I like it because their end result, it's the best, you know, because and I think Warrior Cup does it the best because, like, okay, we'll still do all of these other divisions. However, this is our show. So we're gonna highlight it this way. All right,
Yes.
all you other 11 grand championship winners, that's sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
only one of you wins.
Right.
Ah, that
Yeah.
sounds a little bit more grand.
Right. Now, do you like the idea? I know it's something that I think we look at over years because there hasn't been many, but do you like the idea of having the women and men against each other? There is something
No,
there, especially in the adults, that I think we should probably
I don't.
move forward to, and I don't know. I mean, I think having a women's overall
That's the
forms a
one thing
weapon
I don't. That's the one
World
thing I
Cup
don't like.
and a men's overall forms of weapons over. You could
I
have
do.
you could keep it the same. You could keep the same amount of World Cups and just give a men's one and a women one. Still have weapons and forms against each other, or you could add two more. But people don't like to add. So
No, it should be different. You know, and it's just like men's and women's athletics of any kind. Like
yeah.
there's differences to this thing, right?
Oh yeah,
Right.
definitely.
So, like, if you watch men's and women's gymnastics, like, it's not the exact same. It's
No.
like two totally different sports, right?
Yep.
And so, it, when you're watching men's and women's forms and weapons, like, they're different, right?
Completely different.
But yes, and when you get someone like Haley Glass, who could out trick me on my best day,
Right.
and when she's like got the flu, she probably beat me, right? 100%. Okay. So yeah, we get that can happen, but we still should have it separate. Like,
Yeah.
let them do theirs. I think if we do it that way, I think it's just going to be easier. It looks better too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Let me tell you, man. All right. So the first times I went to World Cup, it was in NBL event. Okay. And so
What year
the
was
way
that?
they would,
What year was this?
2000, 2001.
Okay.
I think it was NBL from 98 until 2003, I believe.
Okay.
And so,
checks out.
the way that they did it was they were required to do certain things and have those things on stage. That was the contract. So they would still have those events. They changed it up a couple of times. They would have the grands, the NBL grands on stage, and then they would take the winners of that and then do an overall, right, for the World Cup. But there was also at that point, it was only certain divisions that made the finals, right? So what they would do like, all right, here's a traditional division for those that haven't won that yet, and then here's an open division, and then we'll do the same thing for weapons, the same thing for forms. And they kind of like did that. So then they took the winners of the NBL ones versus the two AKA divisions, and then the winner of that. So it was like you could register for these extra divisions just to get in the World Cup. Then they got rid of even letting the NBL in there, and they said, all right, the World Cup is going to be a whole separate thing. We're just going to make it a separate division. So here is your normal NBL grands. And then, hey, I know you just did 7 divisions, but now if you want to make the finals for the Warrior Cup, you got to do this. But what they did was you're only allowed to pick one. So if I wanted to be the traditional one, I would do traditional. One year, I think I did that. If you want to do the open, the musical, you have to do that. If you want to be the female representative, you do that. So there was obviously you only have a few options for that, right? But there were that was the way they did it. So it made it really interesting. So you had all these grand championships, and then you also had the Warrior Cup as well. So that was very interesting how they did it. When it went to Naska, they went and made it their own thing.
To play in the Naska rules.
Yeah, and then every year it's kind of changed a little bit. Like at one point there was like 7 people on stage. Some years they were letting all the CMX winners on stage, but then breaking down all the other ones. And that was when it got kind of like, wait a minute, if you're gonna make all of us do the grands before and not be on the show, make everyone else too. So the last 2 years they've done better at that. They used to always let the traditional challenge winner be in the Warrior Cup. Okay. That was before it was in a grand or whatever it was, So They didn't do that with the Korean challenge, you know? So there's a lot of different things that, of course, it makes it difficult, but I like that now they're at, okay, there's 5 spots, you know, and it makes it easier to get behind it and understand how it goes. At least for the adults, it's 5 spots. I think it's 4 for the juniors. So, all right, you okay out there, buddy?
No, I'm not.
Well,
Cooper Cup is just getting
Just killing it.
bombs down the field. Like this is ridiculous. I want to shut this off so that it doesn't ruin the rest of the podcast, but I'm not going to shut it off.
Oh man. All right. So who are some people you think have a shot to make the stage? You know, again, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. There's a lot of AKA people that have their awesome, you know,
This is when they have their best
event, and it's because it means so much to them. You know what I mean? Like there are kids that I haven't seen win anything, and then they come out and just like go insane and win everything, and they deservingly so. It was like, where did this guy come from? I've never seen him before.
Well, let's think about it too. For them, all right. Think about when Diamonds is, right? Diamonds is this thing like October-ish. Okay.
Right.
That's when, like, boom, they want to win that. From that point till AKA, like it's constant for them. It's constant training because they got camps and then they have another camp at the end of the year. I mean, this is all, and then like everybody's in because everybody's pushing for AKA. So everybody's pushing each other to consistently be better. So I think this is like the perfect culmination for them time-wise for them to have their best performance.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. You're right. You're right, man. All right. So overall,
let's put that on a t-shirt. How about that?
Right. All right. What will happen at Warrior Cup? What are some things you guys really feel like?
Should we do some bold fighting predictions?
Some bold. Like,
let's do some bold fighting predictions.
Out, you know, let's
do this one.
Are we
I
ready?
mean, if I were to say Avery Plowden wins the Warrior Cup, I believe that's probably going to happen. Right?
Yeah.
I really do. So I'm just going to get that out of the way. Now, if I'm not going to say that, okay, and I'm going to do something crazy and something bold.
Okay.
Is Bailey going to be there? I don't know. This is what's crazy. We need to know this.
I think so now. I think he will be.
Lynn Bailey's going to win. See, this is where we got to have the rule. Like, all right, if it's not him, then it's not him. Who else do you say? Because because I got to tell you right now, if you knew that both of those fighters are going to be there and you pick someone else, that's fine. It's just your favorite. You're not actually picking who
right. Well, let's just say
think going to win, right? You think one of those two is going to win.
Let's take them out. Who's another person who's the third person that you feel like, you know?
Oh, was Andrew saying there's a walkover event in Italy right now? Oh, wait.
Might be.
Huh.
Who's another person? You know what I mean? Like, because again, to me, that third, to me, in the best in the world, is Enrique Latona. I'm sorry, but this dude has the results, and
I thought about it.
And
I thought about that.
That would be an interesting one, right? And then there's someone like
Drew. I was actually thinking Devin Hopper. If I wasn't going to put that, Devin Hopper is going to be in the final. I really was thinking like Devin Hopper is going to be in the final, but I think, I think Tyreek Saint. That guy's so. I mean, everybody knows it. Like, he's so freaking talented, right?
I tell you, man. I don't know
so
why.
Talented, and I actually like he's streaky too. Like if he gets some momentum going, right? Watch him win his division. He gets some momentum going, and you put him in the spotlight. You put him on the stage. Like, dude, he's just like that amps him up, right?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think it's going to be interesting how it all goes. You know.
Well, there's got to be a senior. There's got to be a senior representative.
Yeah, that's gonna. Well, it depends on what Kevin does, right? If Kevin decides to do the senior division, or he decides to, not.
Avery can be the senior representative too.
Exactly.
The whole thing gets messed up.
No. Well, here's the deal.
That's what happened last year.
with either of them would be do open weight and then do the senior, right? You could do that, or I'm really not sure.
I used to think like, no, it's good to have 4 all there, and then the moment you had like,
yeah,
it was no, we're not gonna put anything down. When Darren Payne won the Warrior Cup, right? He beat Cam Dawson. He beat Cam Dawson. At that point, Cam Dawson was not beatable, right? So Cam Dawson got beat by Darren Payne. Darren Payne won the Warrior Cup. However, he didn't win his division that year, right? And he didn't win the open weight. So that's where you're like, ooh, this feels weird now.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about this, right? And that's the thing. So because Cam was the open weight winner and the heavyweight winner.
Mm-hmm.
So
and again,
it's just assumed that like we're gonna give it
to me, that's a buy. But
it should be. Now it's like, now that we've seen it play out,
yep,
and now we've seen people bow out because of that, right? We go, ooh, this is looking really yucky now. Yeah. This is feeling kind of slimy, right? This should be a buy because this is not fair. Right. If a guy just wins, like, yeah, sure, you're entered into the tournament. You won, you're entered in the tournament. If a guy wins twice, 3 times, take Kevin Walker.
Right.
I say Kevin Walker wins. He's like he's right in the middle. Like, I never know where the guy weighs. Right. I mean, truly, because he's like right there. Like, wait, you light middle? You welter? You middle? I never know. Right. So let's say because he could cut 5 pounds by just thinking hard enough. All right. Sure. So let's say he's on the lighter side. Okay. He wins the lightweight overall. Right. And he wins the open weight. And he wins the 30. There should be one fight.
Yeah. Right.
There should be one. If somebody does that, you can't fault the heavyweight winner.
Yeah. Well, now because they changed it, so now it could only be 2. So you could win the open weight and your heavyweight, or you can win the open weight and the senior. You're not allowed to do both.
Fair. That's not fair. Because you look at it from the form side, they let you do all those other ones to win. Right.
Well, if you're 18, like I'm saying, I can't do that now. I have to choose the 18 plus or the senior. So, but then they're letting you do both. Whatever. Doesn't make much sense.
You see what I mean? They let you do it all. You just can't actually be good.
Yeah. You can't actually get any benefit. Pay us more, but you can't get any more in return. That's the thing that's kind of, yeah. You can't get the most out of your money. That's the thing. And it's kind of crazy, right? So, all right.
And your investment, guys, the investment.
Yes.
Invest in people that want to invest back into you, right?
Correct.
Bailey has been out there. He has said, I don't want to have to do a different career. I love this. Yeah. I'm making good money doing this. I want to keep doing this. People should be doing everything that they can to keep it that way. Because all you need is someone like him going, I'm not going to get treated this way. Right. I'm the best there is. And you're going to treat me this way? There's nothing higher than where I'm at. So that means I can't actually get anything better than what I'm getting now.
Correct.
I don't need this in my life. Right. Because for all of us, nobody needs this.
Right. No.
So, man, take care of your people. There's the one thing as a martial arts school owner, as any kind of business owner, the most valuable asset you have is not an actual thing or a software. It's people, right?
Yeah.
I'm a business owner too, right? So there's one thing I can't lose. I absolutely cannot lose. It's my guys. I can't lose my guys. So but in this scenario, your guys are also your customers, but yet they're also the people indirectly recruiting more customers.
Right.
What are we missing here? What are we missing? Make them as happy as they want to be.
Right. Oh, man. All right, so we're talking about this. We got lots of different people for the forum for the weapons. Again, we had some ideas for people in men's fighting, women's fighting. I think, outside of Katarina and Katana, who's someone who you think could make the stage? Who's someone that you feel? Last year it was Yamina on stage.
Jimena's always a good take.
She's a great one to look at. Peyton was really close last year. She got runner up in the open weight. So those two are people.
Yasmina was pretty good last year.
Yasmina was really good last year. You're also talking about the straight up ladies. Karina, she could always do it. She's won some overalls before over Katana or Katarina. So I mean, it's
Savannah. I would think of the straight up ladies. She's probably got the best shot. Yo, Andrew.
If Elise Guerrero ever decided to show up, yeah, I agree.
Yes, Elise Guerrero.
Favorites, man.
The funniest Elise Guerrero moment I literally when I saw it, I erupted in laughter. It was the funniest thing. So she wins the Irish Open, okay, and she was the best, right?
Yeah.
But she did things where it's like her style, where it's leg high. People try to sweep, they try to duck under, and she's ready. She's prepared for it. She's done. She's moving. She has a plan, and nobody else can stop her. Right? She wins, and when she's done, she puts both arms up and flexes. And I am like, you are not the person to flex. Right? You didn't use that. You didn't use those hands one time. Right? And those things are not changing the shape of your arm when you do that, right? I erupted in laughter when she did that. It was the funniest thing ever, right? She went like this, put them in, there was space.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh man.
My gosh.
Go check out that one in the archives. Her episode was great with her and Casey and I think Lauren.
Yeah,
so
the three of them. It was a really, really good one, man. Really they're super smart, man.
Yes. All right. Forms of weapons. I'll let you give some ideas. I'm not saying because I already know who I have winning, so it's okay. But go ahead.
It's so hard because it's like with this group of competitors, you're just naming favorites at this point. You're naming favorites.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
So if I'm gonna go out on a limb and name a favorite, for weapons, I'll say Ben Jones. Right? But this is the same thing to give me that little head nod and go, okay, right? But if I said Esteban Tremblay, you give me the same reaction, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's so hard.
It's hard.
And if you're right, you just guessed right. Whoa. Okay.
Well, it's not men's forms, it's just forms, adult forms there, Andrew. Remember? but yeah, I mean, I just say if you plan on being on stage at the Warrior Cup, then you plan on winning it, So again, so for me, I'm not saying anyone else's name. So
So you get that. So you likely are going to be doing traditional. Are you? I mean, we're not going to talk about this. All right.
Well, I'm just saying, we can kind of go all over the place with that one with the forms, but yeah, I mean, I going for the senior spot for weapons. I'm not sure yet what I'll do for forms, and then I got to win my divisions, and then Korean Challenge, I'll be in the finals too. That's the plan, right? So
that's okay. So that's what. All right, I guess for that, that's what I'm talking about there. So for the Korean Challenge,
that's the goal, is to be in there. Now, again, hey, we have lots of competition, and it's going to be probably one of the best ones yet. So I'm excited for it, man. But again, weapons is going to be crazy for just to get on stage with myself, Tim, Eric Tremblay, Brett Thomason, all those guys. And then same thing in the forum. So it's going to be huge. And then the Korean division is probably going to be one of the best ones ever. This tournament is always one of the biggest ones. And now there's a lot of people moving up. There's a lot of people that have gotten better over the past year. So it's going to be exciting. Same thing for women. So, but I'm ready. It's time to win. So
Vikings got a touchdown. We're looking all right.
There you go.
We're not looking all right, but we're at least making some traction. Yo, Colin O'Brien as a wild card, Mike. That's not the craziest thing, because like if you can win, let's say he wins Extreme Weapons, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Why if you can win that division, why couldn't you win the CMX Grand? Okay.
Right.
So now, then if that happens, yeah, I mean, you're basically like, yeah, well, you can 100% win the Warrior Cup. So that's what it really, I think it's more about the divisions. You got to pay attention to the divisions, right?
Yeah.
And see, it's not just like, did this person win, but how? So let's just use that one. All right. Solif's a great idea. It's a great take. 100%. This tournament and being Solif. Yes. But let's just take that, for example. Let's say, just using Colin's name, for example. Colin wins the Extreme Weapons, but 3 guys drop. Then you go, who? I mean, one.
Yeah.
Is he really the favorite to win the Warrior Cup now? Ooh, I don't know. Joe Troy is saying yes, he is competing. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, shit.
So I'm telling you, it's gonna be sick, man.
It's gonna be nutty, man. It's gonna be nutty.
I mean,
I still think we're gonna have some crazy fights. I think my prediction for the fights. I got a couple of predictions. There's gonna be a big knockout. Someone's getting knocked out. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be nasty. Okay. Right. Incidental. Right. Not like malicious, but it's gonna be like,
yeah.
Somebody just, they both blitz at the same time. Boom, knockout. Right.
Yeah.
Spin kick. Boom, knockout. Whatever. All right. Switch round kick. Knockout. That's gonna happen. Okay. There will be another highlight move that will end up being like, this one's going to be a reel that everybody shares, kind of like Oscar Garcia did with that 360 round kick, right?
Yeah.
That was a Warrior Cup, right? And I think we're going to get a new divisional winner from the men's that we haven't had before, that could be potentially like the winner for that year.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's going to be the story though of like, and I don't mean just the winning story, because last year, one of the biggest moments and one of the biggest things was not the person that won, but it was what happened, what else? And then, so that always happens too. It's not always who wins the Warrior Cup. It's also like, what was the big aha moment? Because sometimes there's people that kill it on stage, don't win, but the audience is on their side, right?
There's a lot of those.
There's a lot of times
many
where
of that in
the fighting, right? So really interesting to see what's going to happen that time, in that
Are you saying that we might, are you thinking that we might get one of those where it's like, we might get a moment where we talk about this for years, but they don't win, like a Carmichael Simon Crow moment?
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, again, last year the whole crowd went crazy, right? So, and it caused a lot of drama and a lot of heat, which I'm still upset that something like that wasn't looked at as a positive, and it was looked at more as a negative, instead of, hey, here's an idea, guys. Learn to put on a show. Learn to put on a performance. And you'll have everyone eating out of your hands. That's what our job is to perform. So go out there and perform.
Yeah.
And don't care what the judges say, whatever, just go out and perform, because that's what you're on stage for, is to perform. So I think we need more of that, So, all right. Go Vikes.
There we go.
What's the score?
Cool, baby. Well, it's we're going into the fourth quarter, I believe. Why are they stopping right now? Okay. No, we still got 5 minutes left in the third. We need a pick six.
Hey,
This
what's
year,
the score? You still
it's
didn't tell me.
It's 27-9.
Okay, you're not in this. All right, man. So
come on, man.
Go
I want
Rams.
to hear stuff like this. Why did you just say go Vikes? And then all of a sudden it's go Rams. Get out of here. How your Raiders doing? Come on now.
Well, let's see. We just fired a coach and fired a general manager. So, the normal year and a half thing that we do every year and a half.
That's actually a pretty good point.
Thing.
That's a pretty good point. But you don't watch like I can't say Redskins, but I mean you don't watch them no more? You don't ever get into that? Because that's your local team.
Not since I was a real little kid. So no, I just
What was it? I never really heard. Why did you just be like Raiders? What was it about that?
I mean, when I was a kid, it was the the Bo thing, but I also really like Marcus Allen, so Bo was a big thing. And then just, being around Damon growing up, definitely, I always had but then knowing someone who was always around them, all the time. So that was cool. But yeah, man.
Was he like working security for the games then too?
Yeah.
Even in the early CJB days?
Yep.
That's dope. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Agree there, Drew. Yep. All right, man. So we're going to see everybody this weekend. Again, come join us. Check us out at the booth. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a busy weekend, but a fun weekend. And let's go out and kill it, everybody. Looking forward to seeing everybody.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See y'all next week. See you guys this weekend.